Hey everyone, I'm S and I'm taking you on my conversion journey. I am going to talk about my unorthodox life. Now, I'm going to be a little different. There are many YouTubers that have done a phenomenal job of debunking Julia Hart's story and some of the things she said on the series. And I've actually learned a lot from them, and I just want to make that clear. I've never lived in an ultra-orthodox community. I can only imagine how they're feeling or what their experiences actually are. What I am going to do is I'm going to make a video on the convert perspective, on how I felt when I watched this, and other things I picked up on when I was watching this series the other night. If you're going through a conversion process of any religion, it's very crucial that you use your critical thinking when coming across documentaries like this. I'm not gonna lie, it was entertaining. It was entertaining to watch, but I couldn't help but think, oh my God, is this me but in reverse? You know? So a lot of people are saying she's a self-hating Jew, and it's very clear what Netflix is doing. Netflix wants to paint, and this is just not only for Orthodox Jews, this is for Christians, this is for Muslims. They want to paint anyone who is religious or anyone who has values that are built on, religious values, that they are oppressed, that they need to be freed, and they need to come over to the better life, which is westernization. And it's incredible to take such a quiet community and shine the light on them, like, oh, let's pick the ultra-orthodox people and show them what it's like, even though we have no idea what it actually is like. And let's take this one or two women's perspective and make it the one and only vision of how the Orthodox Jews live. I think it's very scary. And it's also, in my perspective, from when I was watching, I think it's quite disgusting how a woman would just shame her community like this. Well, she doesn't want to be a part of it, like, it's very clear. But if you are a convert and you're going through this process, this is a very vulnerable part in your journey. So any little bit of information, anything you watch, anything you read will make you think, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? And I'm not gonna lie, while I was watching this, I couldn't help but think, am I converting? Like, I know I'm not converting to ultra-orthodox, but I'm like, is this what life is like? Will I feel this way once I'm done? Will I regret it? Will I hate being Jewish like this woman? So Julia Hart, no doubt, is very successful, and with all due respect, she really did build an empire. It doesn't matter if she got help from her husband. I don't really care about that. What I do care about is that this was a woman who was extremely passionate and did what she had to do to fulfill her dreams. I can respect that. I think that's fine. What I am not okay with is I'm just looking at the perspective of her ex-husband, her children, the perspective of women, even converts like me, or religious Jewish women of all types, of Reform, of conservative, of modern Orthodox, and of ultra-Orthodox. I'm trying to understand that perspective and the perspective of the Jewish community. First things first, there are many things throughout Jewish history that have tried to tear down the Jewish nation, and they have overcome everything. And it's going to take more than one Netflix documentary, one, two, or maybe a million of these Netflix documentaries. It's going to take way more than that, than to tear down the Jewish religion and the Jewish people. These people have been following, this religion has been around for thousands of years. But I do think what it's doing is it's making people look at Jewish people as if they're all suffering and all their women are in pain, and who would ever sign up for this life, and they need help. These women need to be out. They're all being beat by their husband. They don't have education, and it's just sad, because that's just not how it is. Especially from what I've learned and what I've been reading, I'm making this choice to join into this beautiful religion. And I'm watching this like, oh, wow, she really is. It's okay to not be religious. Like, she has it's okay. Like, if that's how you want to live your life, that's how you want to live your life. But to hate it as much as she does, it's coming from a deeper place. And I call me wrong. I just think that when Netflix is knocking at your door with that money, with that check, you are going to deliver no matter what. You are going to push the narrative that they want, because they are paying you a lot of money to make their perspective come true. So I want to go through like the perspectives that I saw. So from Julia's perspective, I'm not going to say that she didn't experience what she didn't experience. Everyone is different. Everyone might feel different. Like, my family might watch my YouTube videos and be like, she didn't go through that, or that's not what she did. Like, because everyone remembers things differently. There's so many feelings that we go through, and there's a lot of miscommunication. There's, things that we held back, and we all don't remember things the same. So in her mind, in how she processed her life, she was giving off something different than what she was actually feeling. She wasn't being true to herself. She could say Judaism is responsible for that, or she can say that her husband or she's responsible for that. Like, well, she didn't really claim responsibility for much, but her perspective was that this religion is bad. But what I thought was weird was just like she just woke up one day and just decided to just not do this. And I guess that's fine too. Like, people change their mind every day, but look at the influence that she actually has had on her entire family. She left her husband, and they have all these children together. And she's fighting for custody for the last one. Or, well, I don't know what the story is. I guess they're shared custody for the last one. And the last one just loves who he is. And she's just pushing for him to live a life that he isn't even sure if he wants to be a part of that. And when I see Julia's life now, I see someone who I used to be. And without the millions of dollars, I don't have that kind of money. But I see someone who is just looking for instant gratification, someone who just sees herself at a higher level than others, sees herself as such high value that she can say some of the nasty things she's been saying. And I feel for her children, because they are so young. They're gonna follow their mom. They're going to follow the mom. What I think might happen, as it has happened with me, when I separated myself from Hashem, when I separated myself from more my religious values, and I was entering like the party, the men, the this, the that, I noticed that, I wasn't happy. And then I went back, and I had so much resentment towards like my old life, like towards myself, and regret. Like, why did I do these things? Why am I living like this life that the people who are pushing Western civilization, Western behaviors are like, they guaranteed us happiness. They guaranteed that being religious is bad and like we should just be liberated, you know, like show our skin, be sex, like be this, be that. And I like regretted everything, and I reverted, and now I'm going back to my religious values. What I think what is going to happen with her children is they might resent her for where she's taken them. You know, once they realize the value in Judaism and the values that, you know, they have left behind. But the girl is like 16, right? Like, if I could go back to being 16, I was like a totally different person, completely different person. I'm 29 now, and I just can't. Like some of the things I've done at 16, like if they were permanent decisions, I would be shooting myself in the head right now. But I think a lot of this is easy to hide. All of these feelings is easy to hide when you have so much money. And you could say whatever you want. Netflix is giving you all these kind of deals. I don't know, I'm going on a rant right now. But I just think like her children just don't understand like how fortunate they were to be born Jewish, how fortunate they were to be to be a part of such a strong, beautiful community. And it's okay to not be religious. Like if that's how you want to live your life, that's fine. But to bash it the way that they were, I couldn't help but feel for the community and her husband. So from what I saw, from the perspective of the husband, it seems like he's the worst guy. Like you would think this man is like the worst guy. I don't know him personally. I don't know what it actually is, but there's always another side. There's always another side of someone who's hurting, of a side whose story hasn't been told. And I would love to see if the husband would he probably won't, because he's a religious man, but it would be interesting to see her ex-husband's perspective of all this. Like, your ex-wife is painting you as the villain here. So, I don't know. You guys tell me, do you think that things were as bad as she says it was? Like, I don't know. I just find it was honestly incredible. A little jaw-dropping to listen to. So now let's turn to the perspective of the community. The Jewish community as a whole. Sure, like be if you are a woman and you're striving to be things, go ahead and be that. But Judaism isn't holding you back from doing that. And there's a reason why certain laws are set in place I've made a feminist video, like certain laws are set in place for the different sexes. One is not more important than the other. We're equal. And I think that just nobody seems to recognize that. I don't know what it is. But honestly, I felt pretty bad for this community. Like, for her to just bash the way that she did, I know I keep saying that, but like, these people are minding their business, serving Hashem, living this life to become closer to him. And this woman is just telling them they're wrong, they're fundamentalist, and that they have no business doing what they're doing, and it's a terrible way to live. Meanwhile, these people are just happy. They're thankful. They would even welcome her back with open arms, you know, if she said she was sorry for what she did. Even though I don't think she's gonna be sorry, because she's out there living the life. But to profit off of this community like this, I mean, it just takes a special kind of person to do something like that. So now, like, we have the perspective of women in general. I like, it's already been debunked by many people that, you know, there are women who work in the Orthodox community. There are women who teach. There are women who are providing for their families. There are women who, you know, if they decide not to have children, they decide not to. There are women with choices. There are women with meaning. There are women, you know, leading their families. It's nowhere near as drastic as what she was saying. So why would she continue to say that? Like I said, Julia Hart's a little crazy. She's a little cuckoo, because it's just not like that. Okay, so how did I feel watching the show? It definitely was entertaining. I like watching fashion. I'm not a fashionista because I just couldn't find myself spending all that kind of money on things. But like, I like watching it, you know. It was definitely something that was entertaining, and I think that was her goal, and she definitely got that. But as a convert, as I'm watching this, I wonder how she would feel if she would meet somebody like me, you know, who was living her lifestyle without the money, living her lifestyle, and like very open, very liberal, without restrictions, and decided to come down from that and live a more religious life. I wonder what she would say about somebody like me. She would probably hate it. She would hate it. But I felt even stronger about my decision to convert once I was done. Because to me, if I decide not to convert and I become a woman like that, I would still serve no purpose in society. I wouldn't be helping women. I wouldn't be getting closer to Hashem. I wouldn't be someone of value. I wouldn't be modest. I would be nothing. I would be someone who is against men, who is against God, and is leading and would be leading my children into the wrong path. I think she's just leading them down a very dark path to come in the future, because they're slowly taking the steps to things that won't guarantee them happiness. But that's proven to not guarantee them happiness. It doesn't matter how many shoes or clothes or cars you have. That's not what brings meaning in life, and we all know that. So this is my warning to all converts. Be very careful watching these kind of shows, because it can really screw up your mental state. And you might be thinking, oh no, like, I'm gonna be giving up all of this. No, you're not gonna be. It's not about the giving up. It's about what you're receiving. And you're receiving a guide to a life that's going to give you a spiritual joy, that's going to fulfill the needs of your husband, your family. And listening and watching to shows like this can really poison your process. So just be very careful and be extremely mindful, because a self-hating Jew like that is just not somebody. It's not somebody you would want to take advice from or want to follow. And this is not to discredit her story. She has a story just like everyone else. But be very careful what stories you're listening to. Shalom.